Hello and welcome to this episode of The Inner Estate with Bridget Stuart, your host, and my special guest, Donovan Sponberg. Thank you for being
Hello.
here, Donovan.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me.
Well, I'm can't wait to jump into this conversation because you are another newer agent that has started at a young age and you're already creating massive success.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
just can't wait for people to hear your story and how you're doing it. So, if it's okay, I'm going to ask a question that normally you're not supposed to ask. Would you mind sharing with everyone how old you are?
So I'm 19.
You are 19 years old. Great.
Yep. About a year and 3 months ago, I was walking across the stage at high school graduation. So
Excellent.
fresh out of there too.
And so, tell us, when did you decide that you wanted to get into real estate?
So it's weird. Like I never really thought of it as an alley for me. I've always kind of done business kind of stuff. I always liked that kind of stuff. And of course, my mom and I would watch HGTV a lot when
Hmm.
I was younger, so it was always there. I was like, "Oh, okay, could do this." But I want to be a professional soccer player like my whole entire life. And then I would say probably my sophomore year of high school is when I really like learned about real estate and was like, okay, this could be a cool outing to do. It was more on
Right.
the investment side though. It was like, okay, if I want to be rich, I got to invest in real estate. This is what I got to do.
Okay.
So I wasn't really focused on like the retail side of things. And then junior year, so I was like 16, 17. I looked into it more. I don't know if you know Brandon Mulrenin.
Yes, I know the name.
So I would literally just watch his YouTube videos at night at home taking notes, but I would have no clue what he was saying. I was like, all right, this is a guy I need to be watching. Like I just gotta learn these terms for the future. Like out here talking about expires, foreclosures. Oh, you have to cold call, you have to prospect. So it's like, all right, this is what I gotta do. Guess I gotta get to it. So I would say like 17, 16 is when I really wanted to be in real estate.
And were you still thinking about it at that time as an investor? Were you thinking, I'm going to figure out how to find off market or fringe market properties and I'm going to build a real estate portfolio? Or did you even start thinking about selling real estate even at 16, 17?
So I that's when I kind of transitioned into the retail side of it.
Okay.
So during quarantine, I was probably like I think 13 or 14 years old, and I was really into like shoes, like sneakers, like Jordans, Nikes, all that.
Right.
And I've always like really liked business and stuff like that. So I started flipping high-end sneakers. So I made like 3 grand in 8th grade off of that. And
That's awesome.
I really
That's
like
awesome.
had a like I don't even know what to call it. Like I just had so much fun like putting stuff on the market at a price where I know it would sell and just watching the messages, offers come in like, "I'll give you 300 for this shoe right now." And like it was just such a big dopamine hit. I loved it. Uh,
I think that's great. What was
yeah.
your main platform while you were doing that? Where were you doing most of that?
So like it's not that popular anymore.
Hmm.
It's called like Nike sneakers. So what they would do
Okay.
is they would drop the shoes for like retail value. So, like I don't know if you know the brand Off-White, but Off-White and Nike did a Jordan collab. And the shoes started at 170. You could get them, but when they resold it, since they were limited, they were worth like six or 700,000, or not thousand, $600 or $700.
Right.
So I would just get all the stuff retail off of that, just try and buy it as quick as possible. And then immediately once they came in, took photos, put them up on like OfferUp, eBay, something
Hmm.
like that. They would
And they
sell.
would go.
Yep.
One of my good friends may have bought some from you because one of my friends, Nikki, he definitely is in that. I'll call it the sneaker aftermarket.
Yep.
By the way, are you still doing that like on the side or has
No,
that
no,
passed? Now it's
no.
all
So
real
like
estate.
that, the whole trend of that, like during quarantine, it was huge.
Yeah, it was.
That was just like the style back then. So it was really huge. And then it kind of fell off and like
Right.
I fell out of love with it. I was like, okay, Nike's not making as good stuff.
Right.
There's not really much of a market for it anymore.
But you know what? You did the cool thing is you figured out that you get personal satisfaction from the hunt when people find something, the close. Like, so you, I think, were wired for sales probably from a very young age.
Yeah.
Someone else in this Zoom room was as well. And you discovered that you loved that and thought, so what's an asset that nothing gets more real than dirt and real estate, right? So you
Yep.
thought, let me parlay that into real estate.
Exactly, yeah.
When did you decide to get your license? Were you getting your were you taking the real estate class like before you were even 18 or while you were still in high school?
So I didn't know you could take it before you were 18.
Mhm.
So I started interning for Jeff teen. Yeah, I was 17. It was the summer before senior year is when I met Jeff. And then I was interning for him, and it was like 2 months from graduation, and my birthday and graduation are like a week apart. So I was like,
Mhm.
okay, as soon as I graduate, I'm taking this test. I was like, okay, well, I hope I can take it early. I hope I don't have to be 18. So I just bought the course and I was like, worst case scenario, I don't click into it until I'm 18. And then one day I was like looking into it, I accidentally clicked it and started the course, and I was like, oh, okay, here I go.
Here I go. Right.
Yep. So I was taking it in high school. I was still 17.
And then were you able did you have to wait till your 18th birthday to schedule your state exam?
Yes. So I started taking the course probably a month before I graduated.
Mhm.
And I just like wasn't comfortable with how much I knew. Like I've always been a horrible test taker. I got like self-diagnosed ADD. I look all over the room, twiddle my thumbs. So I was like, man, I should probably like actually study for this. So I took like a month after I graduated between, vacations and everything and then studying. And then I took the exam a month later, but it's possible to just take it the next day.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So, and did you pass it the first time?
So this is a funny thing. I passed the national, which is supposedly the long, hard one that
Right.
everybody fails. And I failed the state one by one question.
Dang.
Yeah, I know. It was so stupid.
And what did you just take it again in like 2 weeks and then you were
I
fine?
took it 24 hours later.
Perfect. Okay, yeah. So
Got it
so
done
that
in
that's
5
really cool.
minutes. I didn't even like restudy. I was like, okay, I just second guessed myself. So I just went
Good.
back the next
You just
day.
went back and just knocked it out and got it done. So you're 18, you just graduated high school, and you get your license, and you had interned with a very successful realtor and leader in the
Mhm.
industry, Jeff Wheatley.
Yep.
And I want to ask you because I talk to a lot of younger agents just like Jeff and
Mm.
people that want to get into the industry. And the thing that surprises me is a lot of times their immediate family and inner circle will challenge them and tell them it's a bad idea. Now, it sounds like you and your mom, you liked watching HGTV and it sounds like you were listening to real estate shows. Like, did you get pushback from your family? Did they tell you, "No, you're crazy. No, you've got to learn another skill or you're too young"? Like, did you get any pushback or were you pretty much well supported?
So my family has a extensive history of like top colleges, and I am the first one to break that legacy. Like my
Okay.
mom was at Notre Dame, my dad was at Harvard, my uncle was in Princeton, and my immediate family did not give me any pushback, but my uncle did. He was the one that was like, you can't you need the degree, you need it just as insurance. Like, that just made me so mad to hear every time. And actually, for my 18th birthday, at this point, I already made up my mind that I wasn't going to college, obviously.
Right.
For my birthday, he gave me a book on how to choose your college. I was like, dude, you're pushing my buttons here.
Oh my gosh, that's grade A. That
And
was
that
some
was the
good
only gift
passive
I got from him,
aggressive
too.
maneuver.
That was the only
Yeah.
gift I got from him, too. So it was pretty funny.
Oh my goodness. But the rest of the family was like, "You know what? Go for it." So
Yep.
you didn't get a lot of pushback on who's gonna buy from an 18-year-old or you're too young or you're not gonna you didn't get that?
No, if anything, to be honest with you, I get more praise for it
Great.
from sellers, buyers, whomever. They're like, I respect it. Um,
Yes.
Especially out in St. Mary's, Anne Arundel County, where more traditional people and country accents, they
Mhm.
respect it a lot more. Work hard, you know?
That's right, yeah. You're showing grit and determination, and so I think that's a real blessing.
I do too.
At any time in your first year, do you ever feel that did you make any adjustments based on how you present yourself based on your age? Did you
So so funny enough, my haircut, I used to have like a messy like bangs everywhere, and Jeff absolutely ridiculed me for it for like ever since I like started at our old brokerage up until pretty much like 3 months ago. Honestly, he would like ridicule me for it, and I was like, dude, like I have my friends like that are this age, like this is just like what it is, like this is
right.
a style right now, like um, and finally one day, I don't want to say what he said, but uh, he texted me something, and let's just say it was convincing enough for me to be like, okay, let me just get this haircut, see how it goes.
Right.
So I got this haircut. I was cool with it, and I realized I get so much more respect like
Yes.
having this haircut from climbing the sellers. I already got respect from them no matter what. Obviously, no one's gonna really, openly disrespect you about it.
Right.
But I was like, okay, well, this is like it's time for me to level up, gotta look professional, and it's helped. People
That's
think I'm
good.
old,
Yeah,
so
and
it's
it looks great.
awesome.
So, I mean,
Thank you.
good call. I didn't see the before. I'm gonna have to dig around now and get one of the good
You
before
don't want to.
shots.
You don't want to.
Don't I don't want to. Okay.
It looks like I just got out of bed,
Okay.
so
So that's but other than that, you've and part of that I think is the skills that you've learned by interning with someone that and not just Jeff by himself, but being in that office environment where you're surrounded by other people that are treating real estate like a career, that they're showing up and being professional. I'm sure that rubbed off on you and gave you some guidance subconscious and consciously on how you were going to carry yourself and knowing what to say and what to do.
100%. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, interning for Jeff a year before I could even get my license was like one of the smartest things that I could do. Like, I knew that if I wanted to do good, I would have to get a head start. Because I learned this with soccer. I sucked at soccer. No matter how delusional I was in my head about, oh, I'm all right. No, like, I absolutely sucked at it. And I realized because I had started at a very young age and then I quit and I picked it back up again when everybody that stuck with it had such a huge head start on me. Like I was learning the basics when people were, you know, uh, scoring goals and stuff. I wasn't.
Right.
I knew with real estate, I couldn't mess up on that part. I knew that like whatever you got to do, you got to start early, start as soon as you can. Like just start. Like even starting late is fine, but I would just try and get a head start on it. So that's why I got the internship with Jeff and found him, which I'm very grateful for.
Right.
And just like being around him and going to some of his presentations and him teaching me the Mike Ferry scripts and all that,
Yep.
going through the presentations, like I knew exactly what to say. So
Yeah.
it's much easier.
And when you know what to say, you can actually listen to your clients.
Yeah,
And that's so critical to the overall consumer experience in real estate.
100%.
So I know people are dying to know. So how many homes have you sold in your first year?
So I have sold 9. And then I have a listing right now that we have an offer on. It's actually off market. But she doesn't want to take it. And then I have a couple buyers on the sidelines right now. Yeah, so nine closed.
That is about 4 times above the national average of an experienced agent.
Yeah,
So I'd say that is a really good first year, especially with fairly recently turning 19.
yeah,
I have a question for you. So you mentioned that you and your mom watched a lot of HGTV, and then I know you kind of graduated to Brandon's YouTube videos, which is a
Mhm.
little bit more realistic in terms of what
A
the
lot,
career actually is.
a lot
But what's
more.
been the biggest surprise to you from what you thought a career in real estate would be from what you saw on television to what it actually is in real life?
That is such a great question. So I didn't realize that when people told you they want to sell their house, there's actually a difference between wanting and like needing, like,
Right.
okay, let's sign the paperwork, let's do this. So when I started out, so I actually, all of summer last year, I was technically licensed. Like I had passed the course. And like I had my license. I just like didn't use it because my car broke and it was a whole insurance deal. So I didn't really like start doing anything until August or like September 1st of last year.
Okay.
And that's when I got back on the phone, started prospecting. And keep in mind, while I was interning for Jeff, my contact goal for the week was 6.
Yeah.
So just had to get on the phone with like one person a day. I was cool, good. And now I'm having to do 30 a day.
Correct.
So it's a lot
Yeah.
more volume. I'm talking with a lot more people. Therefore, I'm hearing more stuff. So, and at the time I was prospecting pre-foreclosures because that's what I was doing while I was interning. And that was
Right.
it. Didn't have any other alley business going on. Um, I didn't really do an open house till I was like 3 months in.
Mhm.
So like I was literally just calling pre-foreclosures. And man, I went on so many unqualified appointments. I
Yeah.
was calculating my commission as soon as they told me they wanted to sell. Jeff, once he watches this, he'll probably start laughing. I had like I had like 6 leads. It was really just 6 people that said, "Oh yeah, I might consider an
You can
offer."
come over. Yeah.
Exactly. And it was like a total volume of like 2.5. And I was like, "Oh my God, this is so easy." Like, and this is like October, and I'm like, I haven't even closed the deal yet. And I was like, "Oh yeah, I can make 250 grand by the end of the year." And I was
Right.
like,
Right, right.
so delusional. But yeah, so the biggest thing and the biggest shocker was you have to pre-qualify so good and set not only your expectations, but the seller's expectations.
Right.
I would honestly say your expectations are more important than the seller's, setting the seller's expectation, because if you don't set your own expectation, you're gonna mess up on like
Absolutely.
presentation, follow up. You're gonna bug them way too much. You're
Or
gonna
not
s-
enough. Yeah.
exactly that too.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna lose the listing if you don't, find out this one thing. Like I even had a seller had one last month that I'd been following up with since November of last year. And that was back when I didn't know how to pre-qualify. I just been touching her like every couple of months. And she's like, okay, Donovan, like situations got worse. Like, let's start going. So we looked at a couple houses and then she's like I had set the listing appointment. And then when I was pre-qualifying her over the phone, she's like, oh yeah, I'm not taking less than 525 for my home. And I'm like, you did not tell me that. Because your home max is worth 480.
Right.
Well, like I talked with her and I'm like, oh, okay. And then like over the phone, I'm like kind of like telling her the whole pricing strategy thing. And I'm just like, I don't want to like, have your home sit on the market. That's not how I run my business. Like at the end of the day, you're the seller, you choose the pricing, but I'm not going to take a listing that I genuinely don't think I can actually help, because
Right.
it's just
Right.
gonna be so much more painful for the both of us if that listing just sits. Because then I'm gonna be under fire, you're gonna be unhappy, it's gonna suck for the both of us.
Yeah.
So I told her like, "Look, if you wanna sell at 480, sure, call me back. I'm happy to help. I'll check in a couple months." Heard from her since, but
How did that feel? How did it feel to have nurtured that as long as you did? In growing your skills, you realize at that late hour, like, oh, dang, we are way off on pricing with each other. And then having the confidence to be honest and direct with the consumer, which is what they deserve. And now not hearing from her. What's your feeling around all of that?
so with her, like that prospect itself, honestly, I was a little relieved because as I was pre-qualifying, the situation just became harder and harder for me. Like, I won't go into too much detail because,
Right.
I
Right.
will. But like the situation just got harder and harder for me. And then she was also like, "Oh, you're gonna look back in 3 years and realize that lady was right." And she was like arguing with me, and I'm like, dude, I'm literally telling you, I'm trying to serve you right
Right.
with you, and you're mad at me for that. And I was like, I'm happy to provide you with an agent's information that I know will list your home at 525, because like, there's always someone.
There's always someone. That's right.
So, I was like,
Unfortunately,
"I'm
there's
happy
always
to
someone.
send you someone." She's like, "No, you've been keeping in touch with me for so long, like, I wanna work with you, it's just unfortunate." I'm like, "It is unfortunate that I
Yeah.
I wanna make sure that your home actually sells and does my job." So, I was actually relieved. I called Jeff as soon as I got off the phone with her. I was like, "Dude, I had a huge win today. I lost a listing."
Yeah, no, you really did. I mean, I'm sure there's people listening to this that are experienced agents, and I'm telling you right now, there's some of them like, dang, he handled that better than I did with my client with my overpriced listing I've got right now. So you should be really, really proud of yourself that you were
Thank you.
willing to walk away from what was essentially a kind of a given that you were going to get that listing, right?
Mhm.
But you
Yeah.
stood up for your belief in what was right for the consumer and what was right for you, and you said no.
Yeah.
And also, those same agents that have been around the block that might be listening to us, they're sitting there going, "Oh, she's going to call him again. She's going to list it with someone else. It's not going to sell. He'll be agent number 2, and he's going to love it, and he's going to get it sold." Right? So you never know. That's the interesting thing in our industry. You never know what's going to come back around and how often something like that, like I just described, actually does happen.
I hope
So that
I get
may
the listing.
yeah, that might be the end
I
of,
get a
like, this
listing.
chapter, but not the end of the whole book in terms of that particular
Mhm.
consumer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so do you think that real estate as a career, is it as easy as they make it look on TV?
I think it depends on how you wanna run your business. So, for me, I wanna start a team in, like, 2 years. I've always admired people like Sirhan,
Mhm,
Jeff, and
mhm.
just other big figures in the industry, and, like, from seeing them at the beginning of my career, I knew, "Okay, this is the only way that it really should be done." It's not a part-time thing.
That's right.
It's not like, oh yeah. I mean, personally, I'm not cool with making 100 grand a year. The reason why I got into this business is because I don't have a ceiling. So
That's
I want
right.
to maximize that ceiling as much as possible. I want to create a life that's good for my future family where I can spend time with my kids, especially this day and age. Who knows
Yeah,
what like type of iPad they're going to have out. Like even I grew up with an iPad, but like, I just, like, have seen, like, some kids that I just, like, see in these restaurants, like,
I
just
know.
glued to their screen. I'm like, "I don't want my kids raised like that." Like, I wanna be there for my kids.
Right.
I I wanna be there for my family. I wanna spend time with my mom. I wanna spend time with my cousins, my sister, so I wanna be able to spend time with people, and it's hard, like, nowadays with work, so I'm fine with sacrificing the time now to get
To
exponentially.
build later.
Exactly.
One of my other guests, his name is Jonathan Leach, and he started very similar to you. He took the class when he
Watched
was
that one. Jeff
17.
sent me that one, yeah.
Yeah. The day of his 18th birthday, because he was in Missouri, he had to turn 18. The day of his birthday, he scheduled his exam and he started. He's 32 now, and his team is going to close. I coach his team. I coach him mainly. Um, and they're going to close between 165 and 180 units. He's expanded to Northwest Arkansas. He
Yep.
has a portfolio of rental properties with his partner. Uh, he actually, you mentioned wanting to start a team in around 2 years. He started somewhere around there. I think he was around 23 when he hired his
It was
first
crazy watching
buyer's
that
agent.
episode because I was like, "Am I looking at, like, me in a couple years?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?"
Yeah.
Got the same exact story. It was
I know.
kinda
And
funny because I
it's
never heard a story similar. I mean, I have friends like around my age in the business. Like, there's another agent in my brokerage I'm really close with. He's a couple years older than me, and I have a group of guys that I hop on an accountability call with every now and
Mhm.
then. But yeah, their stories are nothing like, starting at 18. They all dropped out of college and
Right,
have that
right.
story.
Yeah, yeah. The more traditional kinda start. Yeah, you and Jonathan had a very similar start, as did RK. He's someone else I wanna connect you with in Houston. He's 30 now, and also has investments, has a team, employs an amazing director of ops full time, and a lot of the reasons you said too, he had that clarity from a young age that he wanted to be an engaged father, he wanted to have a family, even before he had a girlfriend, he, like, knew that he had that vision, and he's like, "What's a
So-
career path that would give me flexibility, financial ability, and it so it's to me, it's very inspiring. Not to say I tell anyone that if they want to give real estate a try, I don't care how old they are. If there's a boomer out there listening right now and you wanted to try it, reach out because I'd rather see people when they're, 85 sitting on their front porch on a rocking chair looking at their grandkids and dogs on the side yard playing. I'd
yeah.
rather have them know that they went for it and whether they failed or not, that they know that they went for it instead of wondering what might have happened if
Yeah.
they didn't. So
100%.
well, so you're looking to build a team. It's not quite like it is on TV.
Definitely not. I actually cringe at watching HGTV now because I like realize how sorry to spoil anybody that isn't aware. It is so scripted.
It's all
Like
scripted. Yeah.
my mom every now and then is like, "Oh, you want to watch HGTV?" And I'm like, "No,
No. Yeah.
please, no.
I
I'll
know.
watch anything else.
Yeah.
Not H."
Yeah. You say to your mom, like, why don't we watch that Say Yes to the Dress? I can handle that more so than the real estate shows, right? Yeah. It's funny. I get that too sometimes. People are like, oh, do you watch Selling Sunset or
Yeah, million
whatever?
dollar
And I'm like,
listing.
no, no, sorry. Sometimes I'll nod and smile, depending on the situation, what's appropriate. But yeah, it is dramatically different. It does show though the fascination with our industry. So Jeff and I are in that same, you know, tier of experience. I'm going on, this will be my 27th year. And our industry, I don't know if you know this, we have the highest average age of any major industry in the US.
Yeah.
So the average agent is 59 and female. And so every time I meet someone like Jonathan or you or RK or, these other really driven young people that see the opportunity, it just gets me very excited because I want to see that influx of
Yeah.
that next generation and people showing that you can do it and make it happen. You don't need to wait till you're 30. You don't need to have your starter career before you make the switch and decide that you're going to now get into real estate. You can
Mhm.
actually do it right out of the gate.
Yeah.
I have one other question. So, do you still want to invest in real estate? Do you still want like a rental portfolio, or have you started learning about possibly being the bank? If you
Yeah,
haven't,
so I mean,
I'll tell
I don't
Jeff
need
to
the
get you turned
funds
on to
to be
that.
the bank. I could be the bank for probably my little sister.
But I'm saying you could grow into it if you
Oh, yeah,
learn,
yeah,
right?
no. Yeah, 100% though. In that context, yeah. Jeff has taught me a lot about it, and, one thing he did say is I should probably run the numbers on every listing I get,
Yeah,
ask them if they're willing to sell or finance it to me. Ask
right.
them, "Does this make sense for me to just take out a DSCR loan and rent it out?"
Yeah,
I got a college savings that's untapped. That's a good down payment, I would say. So yeah, I actually have a seller on the sidelines right now. He's very into like doing stuff creatively. He's like,
right.
"Yeah, I'll sell or finance it to someone." I was like, because his mortgage payment's like $700, and like those things rent out for 2,600. I was like, "Dude, seller finance it to me for 1,700 a month. Give me less than 3% interest, so I can actually cash flow." And then, like, I won't even, like, live in the property. I'll still live in my mom's house. I'll just
Right.
rent it out. I don't care. So, and then I'll be cash flowing. So, yeah, I do run the numbers on most of my listings. Like, some of them that
Good.
are I know where they're not open to seller financing or like doing anything. I don't even bother. But opportunities like this where like I have the down payment for like 10%.
Hmm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll run the numbers to see if it works out.
I think it's great.
Worst case scenario,
So
I give them a guarantee, hey, give me your listing, and if it doesn't sell in X amount of time, I'll buy it.
I'll buy it. Yeah. And prearrange the terms prior. Right.
Exactly.
So I just think you have a really strong start to a stellar career. I
Thank
always like to ask my guests, let's say that there is a 16-year-old that stumbled across this and they are thinking about getting into real estate straight out of the gate. What would you say to them just in terms of a bit of guidance as someone who's already through your first year and already has nearly your first 10 sales and you're already in it and making it happen? What would you say to someone younger that's thinking about jumping in?
So younger, like let's say 16, like age I was, 100% get a direct internship. There's brokerages where you can do an internship, but you'll be the front desk person, you don't really learn that way.
Right.
Just find some way to get experience, like deep experience. I was so lucky with Jeff. It's unbelievable.
Right.
Like, I'm not sure if you know the story of how I actually ended up interning for him.
I did not.
Okay. I'll tell it in a second here. But no, like I was so lucky because I wanted someone at the time, I was interested in investing. So I was like, okay, I want someone that, knows about investment stuff and then also like is a good top producing agent, prospects. I want to learn someone that does that because I knew there was agents out there that don't and that try the social media and post the like template videos and
Right.
like those just make me cringe so hard whenever I
Yeah.
see them. So yeah, I would say definitely find a mentor, find some kind of internship, like, and just like work for free. Work for free is the
Good.
most important part because that opens up your options. I knew that if I wanted to get a good internship, I'd probably be working for free. And then not everyone's high school does this, but my high school had a half day program. So if you have a job or an internship and, you're ahead on your classes enough, which I mean, like you just take the credits you need and by senior year, you'll, at least in Montgomery County where I live, you only need an English credit. So I only
Okay.
had to pass English and I was good. I was good to graduate. So like literally I had English second period, had Spanish first, third period, I had cooking, and fourth, I had math. And then after that, I just went to Jeff's office, just prospected for him, learned from him, did whatever I had to do for the day. And that was the smartest thing I've ever done. I would not be talking to you right now. I would probably be chasing some lead talking about, oh yeah, I'm going to make $1 million this year. That's probably where
Right. Right.
I'd be at. Yeah. No, yeah, I'm
Well, I
very,
think it's really, really inspiring. Tell me, when you think about next year, have you already started thinking about how many homes you want to sell in your second full year?
yeah. So I want to be anywhere over 12. Um, which I
12
think is
sales
awesome.
or 12 million?
12 sales. I mean,
Okay.
12 million would be cool. It's like in our market, it's roughly the same thing,
Yeah,
such a
and
high
that's
price
why
point.
I thought that could be what you meant. Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, 12 million. I haven't really, to be honest with you, I haven't really thought about like the numbers for next year,
Hmm.
but I know at least I want to be doing, I just want to have consistent income for me because I
So at
want to move.
least one closing a month.
Yeah.
It's
100%,
fantastic.
which like I've kind of been doing this year. It's like every other one so far.
Hmm.
So
Well, if you started selling in September and we're in September, yeah, you were doing actually, yeah, you were doing a little better than that. You were doing two closings a quarter
yeah, isn't bad.
plus, right? Yeah,
I
because
don't.
one extra, because it's just now September 3rd. So I think that you're really an inspiration. I'm glad to hear that your immediate family is so supportive. You're pretty lucky because a lot of younger people, they just get hit with, you can't do that. It's too soon. You're too young. They get so much pushback. And I know it comes from a loving place. And yet when you are driven and you know your path and you know that lifestyle that you want when you're 30, or when you're 32 and you want that level of flexibility, the fastest way to get there is to start right out of the gate, develop the skills, the relationships, the database, and go for it.
Well, the other important thing too is why I say get an internship is or mentorship, whatever you want to call it, as soon as possible, is because you're proving to your family early on that this is something you're taking seriously, you know?
Excellent.
So it's not like you graduate and you don't have it. Like, I came to my mom with a plan before I even was in my senior year. I was like, okay, mom, this is what I want to do. I'll consider applying to colleges. And then as time went on, I was able to prove myself to her with, even just getting deals for Jeff. Like, I got him like 2 deals off of prospecting, and like that to my mom, like it was within the span of like 10 months, but still, like, she knew I was working hard, and like it was so easy to prove to her that, like, okay, I'm actually taking this seriously.
Right.
So if you want to do it, make sure you're 100% committed. A, if you have parents that are gonna, give you your family that are gonna give you pushback on it, like, come to them with a plan. Don't just say, "Oh, I'm
Right.
gonna start in real estate," which I think is a lot of people's first mistake because you don't have anything to show people. It takes you even longer to prove yourself, you
That's
know?
right.
Versus like, I mean, I've still had to prove myself to my family. Like my uncle, like he would check in every so often in the beginning of last year. And then like now I'm like where I'm banging out and picking up clients every month. Like, oh, okay, cool. Like he's fully supportive now and I love him.
Yeah.
Great. And my mom I've proved to financially because she's just covering everything right now, which is amazing. And I just started taking on a couple expenses because now I have the income to do that and I see the consistency ahead. So it's good for both of us because she's like, okay, I'm cool financially. I don't have to go out of retirement for Donovan.
Right.
Yeah. So and I don't have to dip out my college savings either. If
That's
she's
right.
taking
Yeah, you
for
can
me.
leave that intact for whatever future endeavors
Exactly.
come along.
Yeah. I
All right,
had to
I
take
want to
so much
throw
money
out
out
a
of it.
crazy thought. I think it could do 18 in the next 12 months. If you did 9 in the last 12 months.
Yeah, that
And
would be
that is not me pulling pie out of the sky. I know you don't know me as well as you know Jeff, but I've been coaching for a long time and in the industry for a long time, and I tend to be analytical. So instead of 1 a month, you would be averaging 1.5.
mm,
And with working full time and your level of commitment and your skill growth, because each deal you have right now, you're learning stuff you don't even know. It's getting filed away in that brain and you're becoming that nuanced agent, right? I think you could do 18. I want you to go to Jeff and say, Bridget said she thinks I could do 18. What do you think it would take?
he'll
And
probably
and just
tell me
have
I
it as
could
a
do
conversation. Yeah. And why not? Why not? What else do you have to do? You're already working full time. May as well
No,
sell
that's
an
why I tell
extra half a
everybody.
house a month.
Everybody when I tell them my story, I'm like, I literally have nothing better to do.
That's right.
I don't go out to the college bars with my friends anymore, which I did last quarter of last year.
Mhm.
And then, so this is also very big, which I will say is do 75 hard
But yeah,
or just read the compound effect. Do one of those two things and then you'll be good.
that's right.
So like 75 hard absolutely changed my life way more than I think it did. Like I did it. I started in late February.
Mhm.
I completed in May, and then I think as of like Friday, I'll be halfway through my second one.
That's great.
But yeah, last quarter of last year, I was not taking this as seriously as I should be. Like a lot of people, and actually, this is probably good information too. A lot of people and successful like, entrepreneurs, business owners on social media will say when they're talking to the younger generation, it's like you have to cut off your hometown friends. You have to, at least put those relationships on pause. And I didn't think I had to. I was like, oh, okay, like I'll go out this weekend. Like it's cool.
Right.
And I didn't realize how much it affected me because it was like a whole nother section of my brain that was taken up with space. And like, don't get me wrong, I love my friends. I still see them and keep in touch, but it's just learning like, okay, I really got to focus now. I really got to start learning. And that's what happened with 75 Hard. It's just with the amount of tasks that you have. Plus, I work like I would say 8 to 5:30 every
Mhm.
day. I was in here till 6:30 last night, which kind of sucked. But yeah, and then you have to do the 2 45-minute workouts even after
That's
that.
right.
And then you gotta read 10 pages of book. It's like, dude, this is so much work. But before then, when I wasn't taking my life as seriously as I do now and not working as much, I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. Good habits. I get to work. And then listening to Andy Frisella's podcast plus doing 75 hard, I was like, okay, my whole mindset needs to change about this. Like, I got to take this way more seriously.
That's right.
And that's really when I actually started getting way better on the phones too, because I would take the time to role play. I was role playing with Chat GPT for like 3 months. It was insane.
That's awesome.
I
That's
I
awesome.
was spending the extra $20, however much it is a month, to
Right.
be able to talk to it,
Mhm.
and it was good. It helped me learn. It helped me, like, okay, the purpose of this call is to set an appointment, not just to have a
Have a
conversation.
contact. Yep, that's right.
Exactly. Not going for
The 75, and I'm gonna put a link in the description to that as well. I think one of the biggest gifts it gives you is the structure.
100%.
So you just know what you're doing, and you know you're doing it in a certain time, and you're just not there's not a it reduces the options, so it reduces the amount of decisions you're making, the
Yep.
more you lean into it. And if you just commit and say, "That's what I'm doing," your whole part of your brain gets to operate at a different level because you're not making a choice. Am I going to do this or that? Am I doing this or that? All that goes away. And it just allows for, I believe, accelerated skill development and clarity.
Yeah,
And you're living proof of that.
and Andy always says in his podcast, like, it's not a fitness program, it's a mental toughness program or
Hmm.
mental toughness challenge, whatever he says. It's mental
Right, right.
toughness, not
Yeah.
fitness program. So, and I never understood it literally until the day that I ended 75 hard. I was like, okay, well, what do I do now? I don't have a schedule. So, and now I'm finding it actually, to be honest with you, I thought about quitting last night because like I'm losing sleep because of it. But at the same time, I'm like, I know if I was out of this, I would not be outside for more than like 5 minutes collectively a day.
A
And that
day. Right.
it's probably so bad for me to
Right.
not, to just be in my office, the gym, and home. Like I gotta have that 45-minute walk, whether it's 10 p.m. at night or 5 a.m. in the morning. I should be outside.
Think it's great that you're doing it. You're halfway through, like you said, so keep going all the way through and then think about the next step after that. But a lot of my clients, they will do that and then they get creative with really structuring their own time block schedule. So maybe that's the next step. Maybe you needed like 2 phases of that. And
So that's
now
what
you
that's
and
what I've been
Jeff
struggling with is the time
can
blocking.
structure your own,
Yeah.
your own customized one. That Yeah, but I think, just kudos for doing that. So
Thank you.
tell me real quick, how did you end up with the internship with Jeff?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Um, well, this is funny. So, I don't know if you know Bob Lucido, his
I do,
team.
yeah. I know Bob, actually, and I know his son.
Okay.
They actually had me as a guest speaker a couple of times for some training events with their
Oh,
group.
okay. That's awesome. Well, maybe I was on one of them. It was a Zoom. So, my junior year of high school, is really when I started looking for internships, and I looked actually the beginning of school that year. So, it was like September of 2022.
Mhm.
And I didn't have my driver's license or anything. I did not realize how far Ellicott City is from Silver Spring.
Yes.
But I forget how I did it. I probably did it some way similar to Jeff, but I think I just looked up like top real estate agents in my area. And I was pretty much just going to cold call them and just be like, oh, hey, can I work for you for free? And I ended up getting in contact with a recruiter at Bob Lucido's group. And he was like, oh,
Okay.
yeah, sure. Like, let's just keep in touch for now and see kind of where we see fit. He actually left. I think he's in life insurance now. But yeah, so we were keeping in contact, and then I made a dumb decision which made my mom not allow me to get my driver's license for another 3 months. I got
Mhm.
grounded. Yeah, it was pretty bad. So my driver's license got delayed, And then I was also like, it's like I was working another job as well. I was like a busboy at a restaurant. So I
Mhm.
was like, "Hey, I don't even know like where I'd have time for this, you know?" I ended up talking to the guy and eventually it falls through. Like May of 2023, it falls through. I'm like, all right, well, maybe this isn't for me. And then like life goes on. I hang out with my friends this summer. And then like it was one day in July of 2023, like I'm sitting on my computer. I remember this so weird because it was like it just got injected into my head. It was like, Donovan, what the heck are you doing? Like, why would you just like let this opportunity go? Like, go out and find another one. You know what you gotta do. Like, just go out. And I was like, screw it, how do I do this? So I looked up top agents again, and like no one I was seeing from Google I really liked. Okay, shoot. Well, really, how do I do this now? Because I don't know how many homes these people are selling. I don't know if they're actually top agents. I just assumed that if your home had a high Zillow estimate, that they would put you with the top agents. So what I did, I went to Zillow and I tried searching up agents, and you had to put in a request to even see agents. And I was like, well, this is stupid. Like, how do people find their agents? It's like,
Right.
how does it even work? So then I end up just putting in a request that I want to sell my mom's house. And in the description, I put, hey, I'm so sorry if I'm wasting your time because I didn't know if this just got sent to Zillow. I didn't know where this
Yeah, you didn't
request.
know where it goes. Right.
So I was like, I'm so sorry if I'm wasting your time. My name's Donovan. I'm 17. I really want to get into real estate. I'll work for free. And it was like a little bio. And then Upnest, I don't know if you know them.
I do. Yes.
So some lady from Upnest called me and was like, hey, I saw you put in a request to sell your home. And I'm like, oh no, this is where I get like cooked. So then she was like, I tell her, I explain like, oh, I'm actually just looking for an internship. And like, I just don't know where to find the top agents. And she was like, I genuinely think like this is half the reason why I'm religious. Cause like there's no way this just like isn't just such a coincidence.
Right.
And like she's like, oh, okay, I'll send you through to the agents anyways. Like I don't know if I'm allowed to do it, but good luck. And then she hung up the phone. And I was like, who did I just speak to? Like, who was that? And then my phone starts blowing up. I actually still have all the voicemails because I was so scared to answer my phone. I was like, oh
Gosh,
my
that
God,
is a riot.
I'm gonna piss so many people off. And I start reading all these voicemails. You know how you can see the
Yeah,
transcript.
yeah. Yeah.
Hey, this is Gary with Keller Williams, blah, 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 blah. I saw you want to sell your home on Lansdowne Way. Give me a call back. And I'm like, did you even read what I said? So
Right. Right.
like, I could have said that I had just filed for bankruptcy and I gotta
Mhm.
sell this home in 2 days, and you didn't even read it?
Right.
So, I was like, "Okay, well, I don't wanna work with these people."
Yeah.
And then, as luck would have it, again, there's no way it can be a coincidence. The one call I pick up, it was, like, after 3 voicemails, I'm like, "Alright, whoever calls next, I'm picking up, pitching myself, like, I got it down." Sure enough, it was Jeff.
Wow.
"Hey, is this Donovan?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, who's this?" And he was like, "Hey, it's Jeff Wheatley. I saw that you were looking for an internship." So he was the only one that read it,
That read it.
and he actually called me because I was actually looking for an internship, and he's like, "I thought that was so creative of you," you know, and then we talked for a little bit. He kinda pre-qualified me, which it didn't feel like. I've
Mhm.
told him this, like, whenever he had me out. So then he told me, like, "Oh, swing by my office Friday," and this was when I had my driver's license now, so I was
Okay,
able
good.
to the offices and stuff like that and go work. So he was like, "Yeah, come to my office Friday morning, let's talk." I was like, "Alright, cool." So I go out there, it's like 11 a.m. and like I remember he was the only one in the office, and I was like, okay, well, this is a good sign, you know,
Yeah.
someone actually in the office. And then we sit in the conference room, talk a little bit, and I tell him this all the time. It never felt like I was being interviewed. Like it felt like I already had it because just the way he is talking to people, it's like so
Yeah.
comforting. So, and like the questions he asked, like they didn't seem like he was qualifying me or interviewing me, but he said he was qualifying me pretty hard.
The whole time. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then it was pretty much it from there. Like I forget if he really said like, okay, you start Monday or something like that. I know he did invite me to an investor meetup up in Hagerstown.
Mhm.
So as you know, it's like an hour drive.
That's right.
I hadn't driven more than 30 minutes, which was to his office before. That was the longest drive I've ever made. And he was like, "You don't have to come, just would love to introduce you to people." And it was the next day, hour away. I'm like, "Well, I got nothing better to do, you know?" So I actually drove out there, which I think surprised him because I didn't think he'd
Oh, yeah,
expect
I'm
it at all.
sure. And that was also a test. He was
Yeah,
gonna see if
probably.
you were gonna,
I
like,
think it
ghost
was.
him and
He
he'd never
hasn't
hear
told
from
me
you
if it
again
was
or
a
if you were
test
gonna
or not.
show up. Yeah,
Yeah, he hasn't told
yeah.
me if that was a test or not, but, either way, I think it
It was.
yeah. Um, yeah, we went out there and then sat down, he kinda introduced me to all these people, and then he was a panel speaker at this event, and again, I was so early on, I had no clue what he was saying, I had no clue what these terms were,
Right.
buying property through a Roth IRA. I was like, "What even is a Roth IRA?" What's
Right,
going on?
right,
So I was
right.
just kind of sitting there, and then he was like, "Oh, can you take some pictures and videos for me for my Facebook?" So I was kind of his social media guy for the day.
Mhm.
And then, like, I was still so socially awkward. Like, he was introducing me to everybody and everything like that. It was cool. And then I think a couple days later, I go to the office and he's just showing me like the MLS, zip forms, all these tools, and I still have no clue what I'm looking at.
Right.
And he's like, "Okay, well, I want to be in charge of this project for me." So basically, it was cold texting. He started me on cold texting first. And what we did is we would do first to market pre foreclosures. So as soon as the case gets filed the day of, we would text them and we got a deal off of it. Like he pretty much gave that project to me. He's like, "Okay, this is software. This is like what type of questions you need to ask. Just figure it out." Pretty
Yeah,
much.
and he let you run with it, and
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
he let you
So, I mean,
fall, he
he
let you
definitely
get
helped
up
coach me
and
through a lot of it.
right, but he allowed you to get into action right away.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
plug and play kind of, which was
yeah,
really cool. I wasn't expecting it at all. So yeah, so then I think it was like a couple days later, we were at lunch and I remember asking him if he thinks I should skip out on college or not because now we're like 2 weeks away from start of senior year and like this is when I would really need to start thinking about applying to colleges
right.
and like he man, I realize every time I think about to when I asked him for something, he's just using like some kind of variation of Mike Ferry questions.
Mhm.
He pretty much
Same
just
here.
led me to my own answer, which was no, I shouldn't. So yeah, I remember talking about that, and that kind of gave me a little boost of confidence because I was like, okay, well, someone actually believes in me that, other than myself,
Right.
which was cool. Anyways, yeah, so we have that conversation.
And now you're negotiating your 10th sale on your
Yeah.
listing. Yeah,
Pretty much. So we ended up getting a pre-foreclosure deal from the texting software like 2 months in, and that one
great.
was a nightmare. We managed to sell it, but it was a nightmare. And then in like December of 23, they updated, or the carriers were like requiring you to put reply stop to end this conversation.
Right, right.
That killed our positive response rate. Like I was not even getting a single lead. It was just stop, 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 stop.
Yeah,
And I was like, "Okay, I mean, I don't wanna waste your money, like, I don't know what to do, this isn't working out." That's what I went to Jeff with, and he was like, "Okay, well, let's not do it for a while." And then I think something happened with my car again, and I was not in the office for a couple weeks. And then when I got back, we had this conversation because it was now 2024, and we had this conversation of like, "Okay, you're getting licensed in 7 months, where do you wanna be at with production?" I was like, "I wanna make over 100K my first year." He's like, "What?" Like, he didn't know that. Oh, I was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna have to push you a lot harder then." Like, I was just thinking this was gonna give you some good rounded skills to go out there and build a business, not I didn't think you were that committed. I was like, "Dude, of course I am." Like,
yeah,
I have such high goals.
yeah,
So, um, maybe it wasn't that committed. I don't know what he said, but he wasn't expecting me to say that. So then like he really started pushing me. Like I'm talking, we were on the phone as I was driving from school to the office role playing, and I remember it so vaguely, he made me practice this opening line like 11 times in the row, back to
right.
back to back.
Right.
Like, we would like, "Hey, this is Donovan with Remax, blah, 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 blah." He was like, "Cool, do it again." "Hey, this is Donovan with Remax." They're like, "Nope, your tone was off. Do it again, do it again."
Yep.
And, like, I remember that so vaguely. So pretty much what he did, he's like, "Alright, you're going on the phones now. So you're gonna be cold
Good.
calling." So he got me cold calling pre-foreclosures instead of texting them. And at that point, I knew that, okay, stuff doesn't really turn over for like 3 months out at least. Once you do get a lead on the phone, I've been lucky enough to get 2 leads that 2 of my listings that I've sold are like, "Oh yeah, I'm selling." And then I go get the listing and then 2 weeks later, we're on the market. I've been
Right.
lucky twice so far, but yeah, everybody else, it's a waiting game or it's a follow-up game.
Well, you know what's funny is you get lucky like that consistently when you're on the phone consistently. So you'll
Exactly.
get 2 more of those, right? Yeah, it's just a
And you can
matter
start
of
analyzing when you'll get that lucky too.
yeah, that's
So,
right.
like,
Yeah,
me, it's so far every 3 months.
there you go.
So,
So now, yeah, you're just it's really incredible. I agree with you that there was a whatever people want to call it, but there was some divine intervention for that. Oh, by the way, when you mentioned that you put your mom's address in, I thought, "Oh, good Lord, he's gonna get grounded again."
no, no, I got grounded for taking the car out with my learner's permit.
I'm
Yeah.
glad. I hope that her phone didn't blow up and that it was just yours that blew
Yeah,
up.
it was just mine.
Good. Okay,
I
good. You kept
I
that.
didn't even tell her until actually, yeah, I don't think I told her until I got the internship. I was like,
That's great.
"Might have put a
I love
request
it.
in to sell the home, so if you get
If you
calls
ever
about
have
that."
some random agent call you, just tell them
Exactly.
to call your son.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so this has just been such an amazing journey for you, and I believe that you're at the beginning of you can have you've seen Jeff. I know you've met me recently, but again, like November will be 27 years for me. Uh, Sold on both coasts, multiple states.
Yes.
Just this is something that can grow with you and give you that future that you were talking about where you can be present with your kids, you can be present with your family, you can build generational wealth or enhance generational wealth. It's got so many avenues you can go down as you're already learning.
Yeah.
And I want to say to all the experienced agents out there or sales managers or anyone who's listening to this, when you get a weird Zillow request that says, "Hey, I want an internship," call that person. I mean, because to me, it's showing that creativity and drive and that you're not scared and that you're willing to put yourself out there. So kudos for thinking that through
Thank you.
and putting that out there because you've given yourself such a strong connection with Jeff
Mhm.
and such an amazing start, coming up on your this first full year. And now you're going to do 18 in your second 12 months.
Yep.
I can already see it. I
Yep.
can already
No,
see
my
it.
my pipeline's looking good, so I'm excited.
Good. Okay.
Yep.
I hope you'll come back again and be a guest on the podcast again. If anyone wants to reach out to you, what's your favorite method? I'm going to put all your contact information, but what's your favorite method?
Honestly, I mean, I would just email me just because, like, I recently deleted social media because it was a distraction. I would say, like, Instagram or something, but
Right.
I'm trying to stay off that as much as I can right now and
Okay,
just
cool.
work. So,
So
yeah,
all that contact's in the description and they can reach out to you. And
yep.
I'm sure that if anyone is on the younger side, and to me, I think like 22 or younger, if you're in that space and they wanted to reach out to you, I think that feel free or me,
Percent.
or Jeff, because there's such opportunity here in real estate. As long as
Yeah.
you're okay that it is not as it appears on TV,
Yeah.
then you can really,
I mean, if you want it to appear like it is on TV, good luck with that.
yeah, good luck. Well, thank you so much for being a guest. Like I said, I hope you'll come back
Thank you
and
for having
I'm going to
me.
keep
It
tabs.
was really cool.
I love the books that you recommended and the ideas. So get an internship, do it young, show your family that you're serious, actually learn. If you don't know what the heck they're talking about, just make the notes and figure it out later. Interview and use
Exactly.
Chat GPT. Go to chat, like what the hell's in Roth IRA and how could someone
Yep.
self-direct? Ask it all
Yep.
and don't be afraid
Yeah.
and just get out there. And if you're going to make it happen, you're going to make it happen.
Mhm.
So thank you so much for being our guest.
Thank
And
you for
I
having me.
can't wait to get a text from you saying got number 18 under contract.
Yep.
So thank you. And if you're also here listening to the Interstate, I hope you'll join me for the next episode as well.